Hey everybody! So I am now 37 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So much has happened within the last 2.5 weeks. Let me give a quick bump update right now. Here's my bump, getting bigger. This is actually a dress from Pink Blush Maternity, and I'll be able to wear it after the baby's born. My mom also gave me this super cute necklace with his name on it from evesaddiction.com, and it has his name on it and a cute little heart. And we decided to name him Ez, which is where we spent our 8-year wedding anniversary last year. Super cute village overlooking the Côte d'Azur in between Monte Carlo and Nice, France. And little do we know we were going to name our son that this year. It means king. It's of African origin, so we thought that was cool too. So basically, so much has happened. I told you 2.5 weeks ago, at 34.5 weeks pregnant, that our little boy was still breech. So the very next day we went in for an appointment, and our OB kind of threw us for a loop and said, you know, he's breech. There's this procedure I can do called an external cephalic version. I'd never heard of it before, or ECV, and it's where he manually turns the baby from the outside to force him head down. And so, I don't know, the whole procedure just kind of wigged me out a little bit. But I looked more into it. It seemed like there was a lot of people that had success with it, especially if you didn't have a ton of risk factors. At the time, he basically said the only thing I really had going for me is that I was considered thin, and that was good. But my amniotic fluid levels were kind of on the low side. They were 10 at that point. He would have liked to have seen them higher for a better success rate. So I had, I think, 4 appointments before the version that we scheduled to keep track of the fluid levels and everything. And of course I tried a million homeopathic remedies as well to try and get him to flip. Since then I've been doing some inversions, the cat-cow yoga poses. I've been told to do handstands in the pool, but it's now October and it's not very warm outside. I went to see an acupuncturist who did moxibustion, and I've been doing that every day, twice a day. She put 2 needles, one on each pinky toe, right below my toenail, on the outer part, on the pinky toe. And then you take this moxa stick and you burn it, and it has a bunch of like Chinese herbs and stuff in it, and you like light your pinky toe up with this moxa stick. So anyway, I've been doing that. I went and saw a maternity chiropractor who performed the Webster technique on me. He actually recommends that I see him 3 times a week until delivery, hoping that'll help make the baby turn. I felt that was good, like all the Webster technique stuff with like opening my pelvis up and everything. I had never seen a chiropractor before, so he actually did a regular adjustment on me with like doing like cracking my neck and stuff, and that kind of wigged me out. Because I'm just, I don't know. Maybe if I go back to him, I just won't do the neck because it just wigs me out. And so, and then I tried doing an ice pack at the top of my belly and putting a flashlight down on my lower pubic area to try and lure him to turn down, as well as music, all the things. So basically I saw my doctor again this past Monday, 2 days before the version, which was actually scheduled today. And he actually had turned from a frank breech, which is where his feet are up by his head, to more of a footling breech, where 1 foot was by his head and then 1 foot was tucked underneath his bottom. And I don't think that really impacted how the ECV was going to work. But then my amniotic fluid levels had dropped to an 8 as opposed to a 10. And I read up, normally around this time, it's still within the normal range from 8 to 18, because, as you get closer to delivery, you're going to have less fluid anyways. So that's still in the normal range, but for this ECV to work really well, they really want you to have nice high amniotic fluid levels. It's also easier if it's your second pregnancy, because then your uterus is more pliable and malleable. And when I touch my stomach. It is hard as a rock. It feels like a balloon and it can't be blown up anymore. So he just said that, oh, and then during the ultrasound, they saw that his umbilical cord was, it was like around, like in the neck area. So it could possibly be around his neck, which would be another risk factor. So basically, if something were to go wrong during the procedure, he would have to do an emergency C-section. That's why they do it at a hospital. And I'd have to be under general anesthesia for that. So after mulling about it for a couple days, last night I texted him and told him we decided to cancel. And he actually, at the end of our session on Monday, I said, well, what do you really recommend? Like, do you think it's worth it? And he said, actually, normally I tell my patients, yeah, go for it. You know, what do you got to lose? It's your opportunity for a vaginal delivery. Might as well take it. But he said in my case, because of more of the risk factors that now had come into play within the last couple weeks, that he really wouldn't recommend it now at this point. He said he would do it and try for it, but he was just afraid that it might result in an emergency C-section. And he said even some of his colleagues probably wouldn't even consider doing it, considering all the things. So I really wanted a vaginal delivery, and I'm hoping and praying, crossing fingers, that he does flip before 40 weeks. I have a relative whose baby flipped at 38 weeks. I've heard a lot of stories of women as they get closer to delivery that he will flip. My chances are lower just because he's bigger now, and you know, not sure if there's going to be enough room in there for him to flip, but I'm just hoping and praying and doing all these things. So it was disappointing that I couldn't really try the procedure. He actually was going to give me some form of morphine during it. I heard it was pretty painful. I had a friend that had it done, and she had a lot of good factors going for her. It was her second kid. She had plenty of amniotic fluid, and on the third try, her baby finally flipped, and she said it was really painful, and she also had the morphine as well, and plus they give you something else to relax your uterus. And she said it was still really painful. So anyway, I just kind of went with our gut feeling and our doctor's advice, and we decided not to do it. So at this point, I have a scheduled C-section 3 weeks from today, and I'm not as afraid of it anymore. I've talked to a bunch of friends who've had it done, and they were fine. Sorry, my little video was doing something there. They said that they liked their C-section and they had no issues with it, and their scar is really small and below the bikini line and everything. So anyway, so that's that. That's the update on that. I go in tomorrow for another appointment. Every time I've been getting fetal heart monitoring, where they put 2 monitors on you, one for the baby's heart rate and then one to measure any contractions that I'm having. I have been getting a lot more Braxton Hicks more frequently at night. Ever since my 35, 36 week mark, it's been really hard to maneuver in and out of bed, get up and off the couch. So that's been really hard to deal with. And I'm still having shortness of breath because he hasn't moved down, his head hasn't moved down, so like his head and everything are pressing up against my lungs and my ribs still. So that's getting uncomfortable. But everything else is okay. I had a little bit of heartburn last night. Also during the 2 weeks, I had a really fun body painting belly shoot. I have a friend who is a really amazing body paint artist, and she did this really cool shoot with butterflies on my stomach. And so you can actually go to my Instagram at Modern Maternity and see a photo from that. I'm going to be posting an edited photo when I finally get the photos back from the photographer. But so stay tuned for that on Instagram. So yeah, we went to a baby basics class. I went to a breastfeeding class. I've learned a lot. So it's just been trying to get everything in. I got my car detailed today. I'm going to go, and my husband's going to install the car seat tonight so we can get it checked. We have a place here that'll check the car seat for free to make sure it's installed correctly. We have some in-laws coming in on Friday, so getting ready for them to come in, and they're not going to stay for the birth, but they're coming in to say hi. And then my mom is coming in less than a week as well, because I want her to be there for the labor and delivery, and to help out afterwards. And yeah, and we're looking into a birth photographer. We're not gonna hire one if it ends up being a C-section, but if he ends up flipping and we end up going into, or I end up going into regular labor, we're gonna try and do a birth photographer, which I think will be really neat. So I'll keep you guys posted. Baby's still Breech. Hoping and praying he turns. If you have any remedies or any comments about if your baby turned from Breech to the cephalic position, be sure to put it in the comments. And I'll keep you guys posted. It's getting down to the wire now. So I'll definitely be posting some more videos after my next appointments. All right, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.